Hello everyone, this is Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and today I'm sharing with you a review of the PeriPage mini thermal printer from Munbun. They sent me this in exchange for making this video, and they also sent me the thermal tape that goes inside of it. There's a free app that goes with the mini printer, and it has all kinds of things like these little graphics and how-to-do lists and things that can print out. It comes with a roll of thermal paper inside of it. If you need more paper, you need to buy it separately. And the paper that I bought included labels, so there's some that are self-adhesive. This can print banners like this. It has a few different fonts for you to choose from. It can print labels. You can type in things, choose fonts. It can create and print a one of those little code things, like the little square code things that you could stick on something. And the thing that I wanted it for and thought it would be interesting is that it can print photos. Now, this is not a beautiful, perfect rendering of the photo. It has filters, and you can do all kinds of fun, funky little filters with it, like you see me doing here. You just pick the photos from your device. You could also put the app onto your computer as well. You can change them, change the contrast. You can make it like a dot matrix. You can make it reversed so that just the highlights of the edges show. And it's very easy to change out the tape. Just push back the lid, open it, and then drop in a different roll of tape. I did notice that you need to keep the tape really tight so that it pulls out the way it should. But what I thought would be fun with this little printer is if you were traveling and you wanted to make a travel journal, which you know I do that frequently, and you could print out little pictures of what you took that day for your page. When I went on my trip to Scotland and Ireland, I made a page every day of what I had done during that time. This last trip that I just took, I didn't. When we were making the driving tip, I didn't make a travel journal of that. It was a month long. I thought it would be too much. But I like to travel journal, and so I thought it would be fun to have this as a little picture printer that you could just you could print it on labels even and just stick the picture to your page for that day. Say you went to go see Devil's Tower in the Dakotas, like Peg has been doing. Um, you could just print it out and stick it. Also, obviously, it makes labels. If you're sorting like I have been doing. I like the fact that you can change the fonts and the size of the fonts and even print in a banner style. So it has a lot of applications. I do have a coupon for you that will be okay until November 30th, 2021 for 10% off the printer. Here you see I'm using one of the filters where it reverses the black and white reverses. On the labels that I got, that's the label tape. It prints in blue. So it's just, whatever tape is reacting to the heat. As you can see, I printed a ton of stuff. I was having fun with it, playing with it. Um, a lot of different things just to figure out how it works so that I could tell you about it. And so I have a whole box here of little things to use because I had to try all the different features. It will also apparently scan text for you with your phone. You can scan text. I didn't get that feature. I didn't really understand that feature, but it's supposed to do it. Another interesting thing to do with just any old thermal tape, if you have an excess piece or something didn't print right or it wadded up, thermal tape reacts to heat. So you can do something like that, which is to just use your heat tool through a stencil. Of course, you don't want to melt your stencil, so don't go crazy. But as you can see, it's interesting. It makes an interesting paper. And this is any thermal tape, not just the ones from Munbun. You could get it probably at an office store, I'm guessing. But anyway, so what to do with it? I decided to make an art journal page. You know, I like to make art journal pages, and I thought that when I got it, my idea was this travel journal page. So I grabbed one of these homemade art journals that I have that's made out of tag board packaging, taped together with washi tape and gessoed. And I also threw a few pages of, or threw few little scraps of collage on there just to break up the pages. I believe I learned this method of journal creation from Dina Wakley. So then I put some different acrylic paint on there. One of the little pictures I decided to use on my page is a picture of a saguaro's uh, sunset. Of course, it printed out in black and white, but my idea was to use those sunset colors. I was thinking about when I made this page, it was about taking my dog Mika, who's my little best friend, who loves me unconditionally, and going outside to see the sunset, maybe take a walk, those type of things. And so that's what the page is about. So I have that little sunset picture. I've got a picture of Mika, I got a picture of myself, and then I printed out a label that says friends. And then I am also going to use that tape that I altered thermally with the heat tool. I found this little scrap. It's just a piece of underpaper that I cleaned off one of my mark making tools. One of my favorite mark making tools is the inside of a spool of tape. And so I grabbed that. I've got a few pieces of this altered tape. It's an excess piece that I tore off because it had sticky stuff on it. And it works great for that, altering it with the heat. I decided that the picture of myself that I had was too light. There's so many filters to play with in there, and one of them is like to make kind of like a little sketch. And I decided I needed a more realistic one, like the one that I had printed of Mika, my dog. She's a Pomchi. And so I reprinted. So that's why I got the printer back out again and printed a different one. I'll use that sketchy one some other time. So then I've got my painty acrylic background is dried. Now I'm going to attach my pieces of the thermal paper using matte gel medium from Liquitex. So I put some on the page with a brush, then I stick the paper into it. The paper is very thin. I don't feel the need to paint glue onto the back of it. I'm getting plenty of the matte medium glue on there, and I can just stick the thin paper on there. One of the pieces I'm using is self-adhesive, the one that says Friends on it that was printed, but the rest of them were just the regular thermal paper. So there's my picture of the sunset with no colors, and I'm putting it there. Then I'm moving things around, trying things, getting an idea of what I should put where, composition-wise, of course. This is called auditioning. I change my different pieces around until I get something that makes me happy. So I put myself and my little dog pictures on there, and then I'm peeling apart the label to put the friends word on there, trying to decide where to put it. I can't quite figure it out. I keep moving it around. There we go. So now I have all my thermal printed pieces on using my printer. PeriPage Mini Thermal Printer from Munbun. You can buy this on Amazon. I'll put a link down below and also give you the code for 10% off until November 30th. There is a limit to it, but yeah, that saves you an extra $4, I think, or something, which is nice. So then I grabbed a couple more altered pieces, another one of those little clean off the spool pieces, and then a couple more of the altered thermal paper pieces, just because I thought I needed a little bit more balance to the page and a little bit more darkness. I had too much lightness and needed more darkness. Then I needed to bring in some pink. Our sunsets here in Arizona have been absolutely great during the monsoon season, which is just about over now. But I mean, beautiful orange at the bottom, and then pink, and then yellow, sometimes a little bit of purple. They've been beautiful, and that's kind of what this page is about. Going outside, looking at the sunset with my little doggie. She loves to go outside. She usually wants to run, and I'm not really up for that, so I don't I don't take her as often as I should. My son takes her instead because he could run with her. She just wants to get out of the house and run. So I added some more black to the page through a piece of sequin waste, punchinella it's called. Um, I liked the idea of the circles. I had originally on there, which kind of got covered up, but there was some polka dotted tissue paper on there in the orange color. And then I also had brought in those pieces with the circles from the spool, which you now are seeing. Makes a double circle. That's my actual mark making tool, and I used it in white. So I thought that using the punchinella would be good to add a few more circular designs on there. And then I decided what I needed to do was add some of my own hand to the art journal page. It is, of course, about art journaling is about yourself. It's if you just glue a bunch of pre-printed stuff on there and never do anything yourself, then it's not really about you, right? It's about the pre-printed stuff that somebody else designed. So always do mark making or doodling or dots or splatters or something with your own hand when you're doing art journaling. So I'm just making marks. I'm drawing around some of the circles, making little flower things, drawing around some of the pictures to give them a base, and just generally adding my own little marks to the page. Still need something though. Definitely still need something. But I'm still working on it, so you'll see what I do in the end. it felt naked. So I I went over to get some green and I found this saguaro cactus, which you know that little picture on the right is a picture of saguaro cactuses. And this is a cut apart gel print from one of the stencils that I designed. And it has obviously saguaro cactuses on it. I designed it. And so I thought that I could cut out a few more and add these to my page. That gives that color of green that I felt was missing, which is, opposing the warm yellows and pinks and oranges, and giving it a little bit of balance, and also adding something more to the page. So these were printed on deli paper. I just cut them out and apart with some scissors and glued them down with my Yoo-Hoo glue stick. Just giving, I guess, some height. Everything was very horizontal and nothing was vertical, and it just, it needed something else. So I'm just gluing these on with a glue stick. I didn't even get the matte medium back out because it's very thin, light paper. And making sure that it's pressed down as much as it can be, smoothed out with a baby wipe. So I hope you guys are enjoying this video. If you are, please remember to give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment or question below. So if you like art journaling and you think you might want to watch more art journaling videos, I have a ton on my channel. You can subscribe and turn on your notification bells so that you know when there's a new video out. And of course, if you know someone who thinks this would be something they'd like to watch, please share it with them. That's always helpful. So I'm just about done adding my little cactus bits and making sure they're all stuck down. And then I will be doing some finishing up. I guess this went on longer than I expected, this whole gluing of the cactuses. But it sure made a difference on the page. It gave me that vertical height that I needed on the page. And it definitely fit with the theme since I was I am surrounded by saguaros, and where I take my dog outside is definitely filled with saguaros, and the picture is filled with saguaros. So, yeah. Now I'm adding a little bit of shadow to the elements on the page using a Stabilo All pencil. This is a highly water reactive black pencil that I can blend with water. So I'm doing that to give some foundation and grounding to these cactuses. Add a little bit more of that dark. I really feel that in order to coordinate with all the photos that I printed in black and white, there needs to be a lot of dark on the page in addition to the photos. Adding some splatter. I like splatter. Got a little bit on the face, so I had to clean it. Luckily, I sealed that in with matte medium so I could clean it off really quickly. Otherwise, my face in the picture would have had a big splotch on it. It's not that attractive. So then the last thing I did was I got out some King Art gel mixed media sticks and brought in back in that orange. We get a lot of really intense orange in our sunsets here in Arizona, and I really thought that I needed a little bit of orange to come back to the party. And I also colored my little floral motifs with that orange and then some green as well. So that will finish up this art journal page using the PeriPage mini thermal printer. Did you notice it looks like a bear? I thought that was kind of cute. Looks like a bear. Little teddy bear. Comes in an option of pink, light blue, or kind of a tan color or off-white color. So a few little highlights, scratchy highlights, quick with my white Posca pen. Like you do, that's pretty much the last thing I do on a page, is add those fun scratchy highlights with the white pen. And that's an acrylic paint pen, so it dries permanently. And then I think I went around the outside edge of the page with a black ink pad just to kind of frame everything in. I felt that was needed. And that was it for this page. Thanks for watching. Be sure to go down below and look for the link to the printer and the 10% off. Bye-bye.